Look, Gary, there I am again!
You're ready for that flip kick.
100%. I standing.
Did you see it? How did Big Red notice Super here? Did he know that the Nom wouldn't be blocking? Well, no. The answer lies in the amount of meter he had. It's called DED OS, an option select made popular by Japanese player DED. This is my personal favorite way to land Super. DED OS relies on having a specific amount of meter, a little less than one Super, and connecting a normal buffered to Super such that if the opponent blocks the normal, you don't build enough meter so the Super doesn't come out. But if they get hit, your Super does come out. This way, you can't possibly waste your Super on block. This does come with a caveat. You don't want your Super input to become an unsafe option when they block. As an example, Ryu's SA2 is double quarter circle forward punch, which gives sure Ryukin when you don't have a bar. Very bad for this purpose. Knowing when you're at the right amount of meter takes some getting used to, and also depends on what you're canceling from. Usually medium and heavy normals are all you should touch for this. Lights just don't build enough bar on hit to use with DED OS. The amount of meter Ken has right now is good for mediums, but it's too much to use close fierce, which is what you saw Big Red use in the intro. If your name isn't Akuma, you can even use an EX move to bring yourself under 1 bar if you want to DED OS. Of course, DED OS does not benefit the cast evenly. Some characters just don't have a good way to make it safe on block like Ryu, while others are great at it like Chun-Li. I'm going to put each Super into one of 3 categories, depending on how much sense it makes to utilize DED OS with that Super. Note that this is all my opinion, and I've been wrong about this game in the past, so if you think you can make DED OS work with your favorite Super, then don't let me stop you.
Alright, that's cool.
All the Supers that are ideal with DED OS are shown on screen now. Yes, that's Raging Demon in the bottom left, bet you weren't expecting that. Most of these characters' Super pairs have no command overlap with the Super in question. This is the best case scenario for DED OS. You don't have to worry about anything coming out on block. Your opponent might not even know you're inputting Super. Let's start with Chun-Li. She has no command overlap with any of her Supers, mostly anyway. If you start from back in DED OS to SA1, you might get Kikoken, but otherwise there's nothing. This lets you use DED OS with all 3 of her Supers. You may point to the fact that it's easy to confirm Super from her low forward anyway, but there's no reason to turn down an easier confirm if you can have one. Not to mention, this enables you to use other normals like Stand Strong or Back Fierce just as easily. Ken is another classic example of a DED OS user. His most common Super, Shippu, as well as the much less common Shin Ryukin, are done with kick, and just like with Chun-Li, there's no command overlap to worry about. Close Fierce and Close Strong are high parry only options, while low forward is a low. Makoto's SA2 is also worth mentioning. The scenario to actually use DED OS SA2 is very narrow since you need proper screen position, but it gives you an extremely high damage mix-up between Karakusa and Stand Fierce. Remy and Q also have no command overlap with any of their Supers, though their normals have much worse mix-up potential. Remy's only cancelable low is low short, which is pretty bad for DED OS, and Q's only cancelable low is nothing, he doesn't have one. Q can DED OS off close forward, and also his decently safe dash punch. Remy has close fierce, close strong, and crouch strong to look at. Hugo can DED OS to SA3, but his normals are in the worst boat of all. He can only cancel his lights. But I've still put Hammer Mountain in this section for one reason: Clap. Clap is a great special move to throw out and is super cancelable, so it's great for DED OS. Yang has SA1 and Alex has SA2 in this section. They both have command overlap, Torazon and Flash Chop respectively. Both are safe on block and typically a red parry if you use the light version. These are the worst cases in this section since even safe command overlap tends to be worse than no command overlap. Alright, let's talk about Raging Demon. The input for this super is famously not a typical Street Fighter super motion, more similar to Vampire Savior. As such, there is no command overlap, and there actually is one way to combo into it: Far Roundhouse. Akuma's Far Roundhouse causes a back turn, which allows you to combo a grab, Raging Demon being the only one you can actually get in time. You have less opportunity to use this than most characters though, since you need to have 2 bars, and you can't use EX moves to put yourself back in range as quickly, but you'll look insanely cool if you hit this.
Well, I got the picture.
All of the supers that are questionable with DED OS are shown now. Most of the supers in this section have command overlap with a move that is not something you should just be carelessly abusing, but also won't get you punished every time. Easiest example is Yun. His SA1 and 2 are both on punch. The command overlap is shoulder. Light shoulder is safe on block, but it's not a red parry unless canceling from target combo. If you try to abuse this, you will get parried by a savvy player. Be careful. Akuma's SA3 is on kick, so it has command overlap with Demon Flip, which is something Akuma players already cancel into for pressure. Anyone playing a character with a decent tool against Demon Flip will catch on and start using it against you. This is one of the least bad cases in this section. Urian's supers 1 and 2 are on punch, command overlap is fireball. His fireball is not the worst thing in the world on block, though its startup and speed are so slow that it's usually an easy parry. Necro's SA 1 and 3 are on punch, command overlap is electricity. Light electricity is -10 on block, but with decent pushback. I definitely see Necro players using this move on block and going unpunished, though it has pretty poor range. 12's SA1 is on punch. Its command overlap is needle. This is a similar situation to Urian. It has slow startup, so you can just eat a big punish if they're looking for it. Also, you have to be wary of which version of needle you use, or else you'll miss the opponent. Your only medium cancels are close strong and back forward. Alright, Oro. His SA2 and 3 are on punch, though you usually juggle into them. You can DED OS off of either hit of close strong for that purpose, but this is like trying to cut a birthday cake with a credit card. Yeah, it would work, but just why? Maybe with 5-stone Tengu you get better routes this way? Any Oro players should let me know in the comments. With Yagyo-dama, you usually want to do it later in the juggle to have more hits left over for an unblockable setup, so I think this would be counterproductive for SA2.
You need to practice more.
Last, all of these supers suck with DED OS. This is where most supers with command overlap end up. About half the ones on screen right now overlap with some kind of DP. Dudley, Ryu, Sean, Ken with SA1, Makoto with SA1 or 3, Goki with SA1 or 2, and Elena with SA1 or 2 all fit this bill. I doubt I need to explain why this is bad. I've put almost all grab supers in this section. This includes Hugo's SA1 and 2, Necro's SA2, Alex's SA1 and 3, Ibuki's SA2, and even Oro's EX SA1. Necro and Alex can combo into these supers with a back turn, heavy spin hook, and heavy flash chop respectively. However, both of these special moves are very slow, heavy spin hook is very punishable, and when they do hit, the back turn they create lasts more than long enough to just link the super instead. The exception to that last part is stun gun headbutt, but if you're picking that super, you're using gimmicks anyway, so why not? Ibuki's SA2, Yoroi Dosh, does have a hit you can combo into if the grab misses, but it's still in this section because the command overlap is with her weird command jump, which is typically pretty bad. This overlap is also present with SA3. I don't recommend trying it. I've also put almost all installs in this section, specifically Yun SA3, Yang SA3, Oro SA1, Q SA3, and 12 SA3. I'll also group Urian SA3 with the twin supers for brevity. Ginejin, Seiei Enbu, and Aegis Reflector are all supers that have other purposes, and you don't typically mind canceling to them on block anyway. DED OS simply isn't what you should be looking for with these supers. Oro, Q, and 12's installs are all joke supers, but I'll still talk about them. 12 has the same overlap as his SA1, while Oro and Q don't have command overlap at all. But they're all still in this section because they're not even good to cancel into on hit. All of them are minus, so you don't get a combo. The only thing I'll mention as desirable is Q's back roundhouse, which causes a knockdown on hit, but it's unsafe. Canceling this to SA3 is a cool trick if you're trolling, I guess. This game has two air supers, Ibuki SA1 and 12 SA2. You can cancel to Ibuki SA1 from either DP or Hien. DP is obviously bad on block, so you shouldn't try that. Hien is a fine cancel to SA1 on hit or block, so using DED OS with that is pointless. 12's only way to combo his SA2 is with stand forward super jump cancel. It's very tight, and if you don't have the meter, you'll just do a super jump kick normal, which is terrible. Remy SA3 is a counter super. Elena SA3 is healing. KKZ doesn't cancel, as far as I can tell, so you couldn't DED OS with this super no matter how hard you tried. Not that you would, it'd be too slow to combo from even close fierce. And now for the final super, Yang SA2. This super is on kick, and its command overlap is with teleport. Teleport is pretty bad to throw out randomly. It can catch people off guard sometimes, but if your opponent is ready for it at all, you're just asking to die. Not that you really need to be landing SA2 in the first place, you usually pick it for storing the most EX meter. That about does it for using DED OS and Third Strike. The concept is not exclusive to Third Strike. If you're thinking you can use this with a character in another game, you're probably right. Here's a DED OS super in Ultra Street Fighter 4. And here's a DED OS super in the not yet released anime fighter EaseLaugh++. Also, if you want a visual aid to easily reference, here's a table I made. While this is on screen, I'll also take the time to say that my previous video got a lot more attention than I was expecting. I'm really happy so many people seem to like it, and this video wouldn't have happened if not for all the comments that I got asking for more. Seriously, thanks for watching.